The courtroom door swung open with a heavy creak, and there I stood, drenched in sweat under the fluorescent lights that buzzed like angry hornets, my parents' eyes locking onto mine with a venom that stopped my heart. "You ungrateful little shit," my father hissed under his breath as I approached the witness stand. His face twisted in a snarl of betrayal and greed, the same man who'd once taught me to ride a bike now suing me for every penny Grandpa left behind. The judge's gavel cracked like thunder, but it was the shock of seeing my mother's cold smirk, the woman who'd birthed me now clawing for my inheritance, that ignited the fury, a white-hot rage exploding in my chest, making my vision tunnel. How had it come to this? Grandpa's funeral ashes still fresh in my mind, and here they were, dragging me through this hell for his estate. Humiliation burned as whispers rippled through the gallery, but beneath it, a cold resolve stirred. They'd pay for this desecration. I collapsed into the stiff wooden chair at home that night, the summons papers crumpling in my fist like dry leaves. The apartment smelled of stale coffee and dust, the kind that settles when life's appended. Grandpa had died 3 months ago, his weathered hands finally still after years of battling cancer. We'd been close, closer than I'd ever been with my parents. He'd raised me through their absences, their business trips, that stretched into weeks. His will named me sole heir to his modest fortune. The old Victorian house in rural Vermont, stocks worth a couple $100,000, and his prized coin collection. For Emily, who listened when no one else did, the lawyer had read, his voice steady amid my tears. Heartbreak had hit then, raw and unrelenting, but now resentment festered as I reread the lawsuit. Undue influence, they claimed. Mental incapacity. Lies all of it. Denial whispered. Maybe it's a mistake. Maybe they'll drop it. But deep down I knew. Their motivations were as clear as the greed in Dad's eyes during holidays, always hinting at helping Grandpa manage his money. The next day, I drove to the old house, tires crunching over gravel that echoed like accusations. The air was crisp with autumn leaves, their rustle a stark contrast to the storm inside me. Unlocking the door, the scent of pipe tobacco hit me, Grandpa's ghost lingering in the faded wallpaper and creaky floors. I wandered the rooms, fingers tracing dusty bookshelves, obsessing over memories. Him teaching me chess by the fire, flames crackling as he shared stories of his youth. Your parents. They're lost in their own world, Em. Don't let them drag you down. Foreshadowing, perhaps. Anger surged as I found old letters. Mom begging for loans, Dad promising investments that never panned out. They'd bled him dry before, and now this. Humiliation twisted. Me, the 28-year-old librarian, versus them, the successful real estate duo. Inner thoughts raced. Fantasies of justice, exposing their scams, watching them squirm. But doubt crept in, their family. Blood. What kind of monster plots against her own? I called my best friend Lena, her voice a lifeline over the phone's static. Em, this is insane. Subak. Fight fire with fire. I don't know, I replied, voice trembling with suppressed rage. They raised me, sort of. But Grandpa, he was everything. The conversation revealed their manipulation. Dad's charm masking control, Mom's tears a weapon. Tension built as I hung up, pacing the porch where wind whipped through pines, whispering secrets. Moral conflict gnawed. Revenge would make me like them. Yet, the betrayal stung. Heartbreak layering over resentment. I started digging quietly, strategic. Grandpa's safe, hidden behind a painting, yielded documents. Loan agreements they defaulted on, emails demanding more. Evidence of their greed. Fear mixed with resolve. What if I used this? Planning began in quiet moments, poring over files by lamplight, the clock ticking like a heartbeat. Weeks blurred into court prep, my lawyer, a grizzled vet named Harlan, warning me. They're playing dirty, Emily. Claiming you coerced him. His office smelled of leather and old paper, walls lined with law books that loomed like judges. Dialogue heightened suspense. Any skeletons? He asked. Plenty, I said, sliding the folder across. But let's hold back. Build it slow. My voice was calm, but inside, obsession grew. Nights replaying scenarios, guilt flickering when I thought of holidays past, their rare affections. Were they always this way, or did money corrupt? Layered motives emerged. Dad's failing business, Mom's gambling whispers I'd overheard. They weren't cartoon villains. Just desperate, morally gray souls who'd betray kin for security. One evening Mom called, her tone saccharine. "Emily, sweetie, let's settle this out of court. For family." "Family?" He echoed, rage bubbling. "You mean the inheritance you think is yours?" Suppressed fury laced my words, but I played along. "Maybe. Let's meet." The cafe rendezvous was tense. Clinking cups, steam rising like unspoken lies. She leaned in, eyes pleading yet calculating. "Grandpa wasn't himself. You know that." "He was sharper than you," I retorted softly, hinting at vengeance. She flinched, hidden motives surfacing in her darting gaze. As I left, rain pattering on sidewalks, cold resolve solidified. The slow burn ignited. Subtle hints dropped to Harlan about surprises. The courtroom hummed with anticipation on trial day. Wooden benches groaning under spectators, the air thick with polished oak and nervous sweat. I sat rigid, heart pounding like a war drum, as my parents took the stand. Dad's testimony dripped manipulation. Emily isolated him, turned him against us. His suit was sharp, but his eyes betrayed fear, a crack in the facade. Mom followed, tears flowing on cue. "We just want what's fair." Believable. To the jury perhaps, but I saw the greed beneath, the same that had driven them to sue days after the funeral. Inner journey peaked. Denial gone, fantasies crystallizing into plan. Doubt lingered, this could backfire, ruin us all. But betrayal's scar burned, pushing me forward. Harlan cross-examined, pacing like a predator. "Mr. Thompson, isn't it true you borrowed $50,000 from your father in 2018? Never repaid?" Gasps rippled, Dad stammered. "That's irrelevant." "Is it?" Harlan pressed, sliding documents into evidence. Tension rose, quiet calculation paying off. Mom's face paled as loans piled up. $200,000 total, defaults documented. Subtle foreshadowing from part 1 clicked. Those hidden files now weapons. My turn on the stand, voice steady despite the fury churning. "Grandpa confided in me. He said they'd drain him dry." The jury leaned in, suspense thickening like fog. But the twist loomed. During recess, I slipped Harlan the final piece. A video Grandpa recorded months before death, found in his safe's false bottom. "If they're contesting," his frail voice rasped on screen, projected large. "Show this." The courtroom darkened, projector whirring. Grandpa appeared, eyes clear, detailing their harassment. Calls, threats, even forging signatures on old deeds. "Emily earns it all. They've taken enough." Shockwaves hit. My parents' faces crumpled, Mom sobbing genuinely now, Dad's rage exploding in a shout. "Lies!" The judge silenced him, but the damage was done. Poetic justice unfolded. Not just inheritance secured, but their scams exposed. HR from Dad's firm watched. Whispers of fraud investigations buzzed. Psychological impact crushed them. Humiliation mirroring mine, resentment turning to regret in Mom's pleading glance. "Emily, please." I met her eyes, cold resolve unbroken. "You started this." Moral grayness deepened. My revenge, justified yet shocking, had consequences. Their marriage frayed visibly. Dad storming out, Mom collapsing in guilt. In the aftermath, victory tasted ashen. The house was mine, but obsession faded to emptiness. Walking the Vermont trails, leaves crunching underfoot, a shocking twist emerged. A letter from Grandpa, sealed in the video case. "Forgive them, Em. Hate poisons the soul." Unexpected consequences. My pursuit had isolated me, mirroring their flaws. Fear realized. I'd become the calculator, morally conflicted forever. Yet, as snow dusted the pines, a fragile peace settled. Betrayal birthed revenge, but forgiveness. That was the true twist, hovering like a ghost.